should reflect some side of these words I've tried to recite. They are close but not quite, almost impossible to do, reciting the makings of you.
Welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here on this afternoon. I know a Friday afternoon sometimes gets a little tricky, but I appreciate you being here. And for the State of the University, obviously this is my first State of the University. I want to welcome all of the folks who are watching us through a live stream. And so we've got a lot of alums and some of our Board of Regents and others that are watching us live as we speak, and so I appreciate them tuning in. The Making of You, I wanted to start with that because if you hear that song, right, it has sort of a comfort feeling to it. And I want you to think throughout this presentation, not the making of you, but the making of TSU. I want you to think about that a little bit. We'll have a little fun as well. How many of you think that in that verse by Curtis Mayfield, that he's saying, add a little sugar, and let me quiz you here. What is he saying after that? Honeysuckle lamb, or is it honeysuckle Ann? Nobody knows, right? It's honeysuckle Ann. Everybody usually thinks it's honeysuckle lamb. Well, first and foremost, again, I appreciate you being here. It's hard to believe that I've only been here for 11 months. It's even harder to believe is that I am as excited about the university today as I was when I took office 10 months ago. I am as excited because I have the best job in the world. I'm excited because I get to see our students learning and growing and surprising us all every day. To hear about their challenges and their successes and their accomplishments. To marvel at their growth in classrooms, in music halls, on stages, on athletic fields. I'm excited and I relish every moment I spend out here on campus seeing our students, feeling the change that we're making. Because college is all about change. It's about changing minds. It's about changing futures. It's about changing lives. You need to know that nobody else is doing what we're doing here. We provide our students a level of attention that few colleges and universities can offer. We provide leadership opportunities. We provide the chance to explore what life can be. That's the power of this institution. The power of change. The power of opportunity for our students. When I arrived here 11 months ago, I understood very quickly that no matter how much I thought I knew, I hadn't even scratched the surface. There was so much more to learn, and I felt that I had no choice but to start learning right away. We began with a listen and learn tour in which you told us what was wrong, and you told us what was right. You told us about your passions and your dreams and the obstacles that you were determined to overcome. You told us some basic things about what we needed to get done. And whatever I thought I knew went right out of the window in the face of your honesty. Because it's not what I think people think that matters, or what I want them to think, or wish they would think. It's what they really think. It's what you really think. And though honesty can at times be difficult to hear, honesty is a gift that we must honor. I want to thank you for this gift. I want to thank you, and I want us to honor it together. It's honoring this gift that we will not settle. We will not allow other people to define us or our destiny. Your words and vision will take us to a different place, a better place for and with our students. I'll say to you today that here's the truth. We have some real things that we need to address. I'm not going to sugarcoat what you told me. I'm going to share it with you in your own words. And to prove to you that I haven't glossed over anything, every single comment that you shared with me on this Listen and Learn tour will be posted on an internal website for all to see. These comments will live with us. We will not ignore them. Now, I can't promise that we will address all of them, but I can promise that we will address the big things that will help you teach and will help our students succeed. Before we get to the results of the Listen and Learn, I want to share the results of some other research that many of you participated in right before I got here. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I've got to admit that the research was striking. It gave me a picture of an institution that was desperate for leadership, the picture of an institution that was divided. It gave me the picture of an institution whose culture had been compromised. But it also gave me the picture of an institution that has more heart, that has more soul, an institution that has more pride and more desire to excel than any place I have ever been before. The high-level scores show the overall effectiveness of this organization, with scores ranging from 30 to 81 on a scale of 0 to 100. Well, what does that mean? For faculty and staff, the lowest ratings you gave this university were in the areas of systems and processes, leadership, and talent management. The faculty's highest ratings, not surprisingly, were reserved for employee clarity and fit. The areas rated lowest by the students were channels for expressing student concerns, or students not being notified early enough in the term if they were doing poorly, and devastatingly, students feeling safe on campus. Can you imagine that? Safety on campus. This is a fundamental thing that we owe our students. But students rated TSU highly in the areas related to the university's mission, the class sizes, the ability to maximize learning, and the approachability of academic advisors and faculty. Now, I want to stop right here and applaud you, the faculty and staff. Students responded positively to the things that you have done. Many of the deficiencies highlighted by the students were in the administration's areas of responsibility. Yet even in spite of these deficiencies, the students expressed a high degree of pride in telling others that they are students at this university. The research included feedback as well, such as the need for administration or for an administration that focused on student and faculty development, and the need for leadership that is accountable. How can leaders hold other people accountable if leaders themselves are not accountable? Concerns were expressed that there was no shared vision for this institution, that there was little confidence in the direction of the university. A strong concern existed that the university doesn't always hire the right people for the right positions, and that some of our teams aren't staffed appropriately. That promotion is granted on tenure and not talent, and that we need to drive efficiency in every department and monitor for continued improvement. We heard that too many people are just drawing a paycheck. We heard that the way some of our staff talk to our students is disheartening. That's not what I've seen, but it was enough of a theme to be included in the research available to me when I got here. But we also heard how crucial your work is to achieving university goals. We heard that the greatest positive impact on students is for the campus to be more student-centered. We heard of your strong relationships with your coworkers and how much pride you take in the university's success. And perhaps most powerful, that you are willing to work harder for the success of your team. Nevertheless, when faculty and staff were asked on a scale of -100 to +100, how strongly would you recommend TSU to your family and friends? We scored a -31. Let me put that into perspective for you. Negative is not good, we all know that. But even high-performing companies still routinely score positive numbers that are only in the low teens. Now, I don't believe, based on what I'm hearing, that we're at a negative 31 today. But that's where we were on the day that I arrived. That's where we were when I started my Listen and Learn tour. When I got here, of course, I started hearing things. But I didn't want to hear anything from the grapevine. I wanted to hear it directly from you. I wanted to have purposeful feedback. We gathered together the members of 9 departments. 10 meetings led to the involvement of hundreds of people who provided almost 1,000 different responses about the state of Texas Southern University. Now, the important thing about a Listen and Learn tour is to listen. Too often, people in leadership give the impression of listening just so that they can go on ahead and do what they wanted to do in the first place. It's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to share directly the quotes from the tour, because the only way for us to learn together is to listen together. I know you don't want to hear any excuse making, and I know you don't want to hear buck passing. I get that. But I want you to be assured that I understand the magnitude of the endeavor before us. I want to be clear that the comments I have compiled here are only a sampling of the feedback we received. As I said, there were nearly 1,000 comments. The comments I don't share today will not simply disappear. In the interest of transparency and accountability, we will make the entire Listen and Learn report available internally on the university intranet for our entire community to see. I've compiled these comments today in 8 major themes. Number 1, communication. Number 2, leadership concerns. Number 3, faculty staff culture. Number 4, budget and finances. Number 5, salary. Number 6, facilities. Number 7, student programs. And number 8, brand reputation. We're going to take a deep dive within each of those themes, and in doing so, we will start to build our pathways to excellence. Brick by brick, stone by stone, we will build these pathways together. Let me get real specific on some quotes and things that I've learned. Number 1, with communication. Before we build, we must excavate. We've got to clear away the rocks and weeds that stand in the way, and we must recognize that the rocks and weeds are in fact real. And to do that, we must be able to communicate effectively with one another. As I read through your comments, it became abundantly clear that the members of the faculty simply did not feel as though they were being heard. Here are some quotes I want to share with you. No avenue for faculty to express themselves. Need to feel like there is no retaliation when expressing issues. Another quote, there should be an opportunity for the dean to tell the faculty what he or she has done, and the faculty should give feedback. And one that really stuck out to me as a quote was, can you, Dr. Lane, spend time coming out to the departments and visiting with our people throughout the year? Sometimes we feel isolated and don't get the chance to let our voice be heard. Things like this are important, but we would like to have heart-to-hearts with you at other points during the year so that we can keep in touch. So you felt isolated. I heard you. You felt very isolated. Some of the things that I know we've been focused on is communication. How do we communicate? Better communication around budgeting and financial status is important, something that was cited. In the spring of 2016, from what you told me, funds were stopped and they stopped becoming available, which put a lot of stress on departments when they thought they had money in their budget and none came, and there was no communication around why the budget was no longer available. Another quote was, bridge the gap between faculty and advisors. No communication between faculty and advisors to decide what is best for students. Communication, of course, does not begin and end with a simple exchange of information. Effective communication requires trust. Specifically, it requires trust in leadership at all levels of the university. Those are just a few quotes from communication. Leadership concerns. Number 2, we can't build lasting trust simply by asking for it, no matter how eloquent and convincing the ask may be. Lasting trust is a brick in our pathways to excellence, and it must be quarried through the hard work and openness and accountability. Most of us want to be part of greatness, that's what you told me, but there are factors that are preventing us from doing that. Another quote, rules and policies that somehow don't apply to supervisors. Basically, no accountability for supervisors, who should be role models for staff to look up to. We need accountability for deans in permanent positions. You said that deans should have a specific time of office instead of just in the position indefinitely. You told me that leadership in finance and HR needs to be observed closely. Need guidelines for interim positions in terms of developing and mandating new policies that impact faculty, staff, and students. You told me current reward-type mechanisms show favoritism. You told me that political incest is a university-wide issue and disruption. At the core of everything is respect. It is from a respect for all members of an organization that the culture of the organization flows. And our faculty and staff culture is another area that receives significant attention.
What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you just a little bit, hey baby, just a little bit. Just a little bit, mister, just a little bit.
I know some of you like that song. Some of you like it a little too much. I see you dancing back there. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. If you notice, we're infusing songs into this because we're trying to lighten it up. I know some of this can be heavy. But number 3, faculty and staff culture. As we dive into the aspect of university culture, I'd like to start with this comment. It's a quote. We want to keep our students and make them better. The disrespect and the runaround need to stop. It's another quote. More staff appreciation. I know Derek would appreciate that. Staff should be treated with the same respect as the faculty. We need a monthly recognition day for staff, such as Employee of the Month, luncheons, pendants, or something simple to show that we value the employees when they reach specific milestones in their career at TSU to encourage them to stay. Another quote you shared with me was the tendency to do the right people wrong and the wrong people right. You said that you were tired of people at TSU not knowing anything and passing the buck. You said that we would allow faculty and staff to wear TSU IDs during the workday so that students know who to ask for help. You told me, and this really stuck with me, that everyone needs to smile more. You said we need more of a culture of positivity and less crabs in a bucket mentality. You said the staff and faculty could create a climate and a culture of caring for all students. One way I know to create a climate and culture of caring is for you to see our words and pledges backed up by action. If we are truly going to show our commitment to that culture and to you, rather than simply talk about it, we're going to have to put our money where our mouth is. Everybody likes money. Money, 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 Let's talk money. Budget and finances. Adequate funding for research is essential if Texas Southern is truly to be the student-centered, comprehensive doctoral university that we want it to be. We heard from many different departments about the struggles you faced in serving your students effectively. Some of the quotes you gave me: lack of resources, inappropriate management. You said the main concern is we do not have adequate supplies or personnel. You told me that the labs with research need to meet certain certifications, that they're being used 7 days a week, and need funds to ensure that equipment is certified and up to the standards. They have federally funded projects that need the certifications. You went on to tell me that the labs need resources to be able to deal with the demand of research, that our labs exchanging supplies because of lack of resources. How do we challenge when we're told there's a lack of funding? That's what you told me. Questions about how tuition dollars are applied and how different departments are funded across the university. Another quote was expectations about having access to facilities and resources needed as students, and that things will be working or repairs being addressed in a timely manner. Number 5 was salary. I have a lot of comments on salary. A friendly workplace with equal pay is what you said you wanted. Pay scales were outdated. Pay raises almost non-existent. Inequity in salaries. And you wanted fair compensation. Salary increases for staff, when you look at some of our staff salaries. No more comp time. You wanted us to start paying for overtime hours. Salary equity issue. If a professor's salary is significantly lower than administrative, it's what came up. I would appreciate more consideration of what the academic support staff are responsible for. Look at the job descriptions for administrative assistant and Department of Business Administration and pay difference. Again, these are things you share with me directly. Issues with how much teaching assistants are paid. There are 2 visiting instructors in the HSCS department who have given everything to students, and they're expected to do everything a full tenure professor is doing, yet they are paid nothing. So you're working hard. We know it. We know you're working hard, and I'm not trying to slight you by putting up Michael Jackson, but you're working day and night. I get it. It's loud and clear that that's happening. We can listen to this all day. Our facilities. Let's talk a little bit about our facilities. Some things you told me when I got here. You said you knew that funding was an issue, but that buildings on campus have not adequately been maintained since my parents graduated in 1969. I had to laugh at that too, instead of crying. But buildings are not cosmetically good looking from the outside. Should they be painted or pressure washed? You said that older buildings are competing for funds allocated for building maintenance. There's not enough to keep buildings maintained. A continuous problem with elevators in the Science Center and Technology Building. Those of you that are there know what I'm talking about. The passenger elevator in the Technology Building has been out for a month. At that time, it had been out for a month. Fleet manager for the university says that we are riding in dust buckets. The entire labor force is beyond repair. Another comment, every time that it rains on the 5th floor of the library, the ceiling looks like it is going to cave in, and the floor gets water, in which later turns into mold. You even told me that some people have been getting sick working in the buildings. And we heard you as well. We put together what I consider to be a very aggressive 3-year plan for a capital expenditure plan in a prioritized way. This plan will give you a clear sense of what we're going to address over the next 3 years in every building on this campus. So again, we will move away from where we are today and get to the future. Before we continue, I want to acknowledge that it would be human nature for us to have become defensive by now. No matter where we are in the organization we have already heard and seen enough to start considering how to formulate excuses or shirk responsibility. But we must fight this temptation. We have to fight that. Our student programs is an area that is very near and dear to my heart. We need to continue new programs that provide new students to the university with a head start, like SOS, which is Summer of Success. You told me to please look into bringing back freshman orientation. The freshman seminar information was helpful. You said reconsider making that a requirement for all. Interdisciplinary studies, you said that it was a challenge to take classes outside of their school, integrate the experience in any area of interest to student. Public policy and research lab, you said you would like to see the university support this. You need to bring back the food, nutrition, and undergraduate program for the graduate program sustainability. Then you said, why doesn't TSU offer vocational and trade programs that people can make a living from? People have to travel to the other side of town or Baytown instead of going down the street to do a particular trade. You said that family consumer sciences in graduate level needed to be here or needed to be looked at. You said that there should be a capstone experience that ties what students are doing back to the community. How does the urban planning program become the anchor institution in the 3rd Ward and in Houston? Obstacles in having this goal come to fruition. Even as we build our pathways to excellence, we must take pride in the reality that there is already so much good here at TSU. We must ensure that Houston and Texas and the entire country knows about it. We have to make sure they know about it. Number 8, our brand reputation. A constant theme throughout your comments, as critical as some of them might have been, was the reminder of how much we have to work with. Some examples that you gave me was marketing and publicity of the school is an opportunity. Expand the marketing arm. Brand TSU. We should walk into Target and other stores and see TSU apparel. TSU, you told me, is not well known as other HBCUs, and that we need to increase our awareness of TSU around the country. You also told me that we need a better brand, that we need to find the angle that they want to use and develop the TSU brand, that we need to focus on building awareness and understanding of TSU in areas where it excels. We need to showcase the students as a means of branding the university, pointing out strength of the student body and the way that student organizations are giving back to the community is something you said we needed to focus on. How can TSU get more positive news? We want to be on multiple Houston news sites, is what you told me. Publicity, or negative publicity versus positive publicity. We need to make sure news stations and journalists get the correct story. Right? You told me that we need to form relationships with local media, especially the Houston Chronicle. We needed to do all of those things to make sure that we're protecting our brand. I know we've just been through the storm, and I want to take some time to exhale, because I know that was a lot. But to remind ourselves that the only way we get out of this is to get out of it together. We'll take our challenges and address them with honesty and the courage of our convictions. And we're going to thrive rather than survive. If you go back after this event and listen to each one of the songs we're putting in here, there's a message. There's a real message. And let me reiterate how we built the Listen and Learn tour, just so you get a good recap of how many voices and people we were able to talk to in this regard. There were 9 departments, there were 10 sessions, 8 categories, and almost 1,000 comments. We took all of that and all of your comments and everything you told me, we took it all to heart. And we use what we heard to build a shared vision for these top 5 priorities that I have been talking about over the last several months. A lot of these build on the emerging themes that came out of what you told me. And so if you walk out of here today, if you want to know what we should be focused on based on what you told me, here they are. Student success and completion will be our #1 priority. Academic program quality and research, culture, partnerships, and finances. Hello, my name is Austin Lane, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the 12th president of Texas Southern University. Over the last 10 months, I, along with our incredible faculty, staff, students, alumni, and community, have been engaged in discussions during my listening and learning tour. Together, we have come up with a shared vision for the university that focuses on 5 top priorities. #1, student success and completion. It's important that our students get off to a good start that carries them from orientation to graduation. #2, academic program quality and research, supporting our faculty and ensuring that students are learning the necessary skills to obtain a job after graduation. #3, culture, protecting our history and traditions and maintaining a respectful and inclusive culture will be the keys to our success. #4, finances, being good stewards of taxpayer and donor contributions that serve to support our faculty, staff, and students is critical to our overall success. And finally, #5, partnerships, maintaining and expanding our partnerships with state and local ISDs, community colleges, nonprofit organizations, and corporations that are in need of our graduates to fuel the workforce in Houston and beyond. Together, focusing on these 5 priorities will ensure that Texas Southern University continues to be a place where dreams come true, where friends become family, and where anything is possible.
Congratulations, TSU.
TSU's spring enrollment of over 8,500 students is extremely encouraging, especially when compared to first-day enrollment statistics from the previous year. We've seen an amazing 84.5% increase in first-time freshmen and a nearly 60% increase in transfer students as part of an overall enrollment increase of 5.7% this spring. This is mirrored by the 6% increase in total credit hours. Overall, I am pleased to report that our first-time and college freshmen, their fall to spring persistence rate went from 78% last year to a staggering 85% this spring. The continuing students category saw a 3% increase. Our School of Communication had the largest increase, more than 10%. These impressive enrollment numbers speak to the increased value of a Texas Southern University education in the eyes of graduating high school seniors and college students transferring to TSU alike. These numbers reveal the depth and breadth of the work put in by all TSU stakeholders, faculty, staff, students, and alumni. We are truly better together. Well, you did that with your work and all of the attention that you've really focused on over the last few months. We've done that together. As you saw in the video, TSU saw an increase in fall to spring persistence from 78% to 85%, 84% increase in first-time freshmen, 60% increase in transfer students, and that was not magic. That was because of partnerships that we put together. 5.7% increase in spring enrollment, and most importantly, as it relates to state funding, a 6% increase in total credit hours. It's going to pay off for us in the next biennium. We implemented a university-wide intrusive academic advising model with your support. We've hired freshman-focused academic advisors to help students in the first year for the first-year experience. We're enhancing career placement opportunities to make sure our students can get to corporations through internships and eventually jobs. We're launching the freshman seminar course this fall to help students get off to a good start. We increased the percent of freshmen living on campus from 53% in the fall of 2015 to 67% fall of 2016. Pleased to announce that we're launching again the Summer of Success program. Last summer, the Summer of Success in 2016 achieved a 94% success rate. Those are students who were admitted conditionally. And they defeated all odds and all myths and did well. We're incorporating financial education into entering student orientation, helping students maximize scholarships and grant aid. We're setting online financial literacy requirements. Student success, let's be clear, will be our #1 priority. Taken together, these initiatives make it possible for TSU to address our students' needs before, during, and after their time on our campus. #2, academic program quality and research. Most of you, all of you know or should know, in 1973, during the 63rd legislative session, Texas Southern University was designated as a special purpose institution for urban programming. Because of our special purpose designation, every school within the university has an obligation to support and connect to the urban community. To improve academic program quality and research, we took our top 5 priorities and turned them into university goals. Then we asked each college to interpret those goals into objectives and targets relevant to their area of focus. Let's take a look at a couple of examples for each college or school. The graduate school, one of the goals they're focusing on is to improve flexibility in classes offered. They want to increase the number of fall evening courses by 5%. Goal 1.2 from that area is to increase the total student enrollment. Their objective is to increase that enrollment population by 4%. Moving on to the Thurgood Marshall School of Law, with their goal of increasing visibility of TSU faculty through articles published. They want to increase the number of faculty articles published by 2%. Another goal they have in their area is to increase the annual funds raised. They want to increase that by 2%. Moving to our College of Liberal Arts and Behavioral Sciences. They want to expand the number of online programs offered to meet that demand. They want to increase that number of online programs offered to 3 by fall of 2018. So very specific in what they want to do. They want to increase engagement with community colleges. They want to form a relationship with at least one community college and make a visit or an email exchange per academic year to build that bridge to TSU. In our Jesse H. Jones School of Business, they want to also focus on increasing the academic success. This ties directly into our student success and completion priority. They want to increase in fall of 2015 undergraduate course completion. They want it to be a C or better. So they want to increase where they currently are now and go up and have more success. They want to increase matriculation. The first-time freshmen of fall to spring persistence, they want to increase by 8%. So they're laser focused in trying to do that. In the School of Communication, they want to increase the transfer student enrollment. They want that transfer student enrollment to increase by 5%. They want to increase the visibility of TSU faculty through articles published. They want to let their faculty shine. They want to increase the number of faculty articles to 12 per year. In the College of Education, they want to improve the flexibility in classes offered. And they want to increase the number of fall evening courses by 3%. So the tone and theme should be access. You're hearing a lot about access, success, and scholarship. They want to increase community service projects that help tie to our special purpose designation. They want to do that by projects at 50%. It's very admirable of them to do that. In the Barbara Jordan Mickey Leland School of Public Affairs, they want to increase engagement with students, families after 5 p.m. They want to increase the number of events that, again, showcase what our faculty and our students and staff are doing. They want to increase research dollars, and they want to do that by 5%. In the College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, they want to increase academic success. 75% of undergraduate course completion, they want to do better. They want their students to do better. They want to increase first-time freshmen. And they want to do that by making sure their applications increase at least by 5%. They're again trying to create that access that will lead to success. In the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology, they want to increase internship opportunities. They want to maintain at least 15 internship partners per year, again, to form the pipeline to corporations, be critically important for TSU and for our student success. They want to increase the transfer student enrollment. They want to increase it in the fall transfer student enrollment by 3%. In the Thomas F. Freeman Honors College, they want to increase completers and degree recipients. And I know that Dr. Freeman appreciates that. They want to increase the number of degrees awarded, fall to summer, by 20%. They want to increase access to first-time freshmen. They want increase in fall honors first-time freshman applicants by 5%. It's what they want to achieve in their area. Culture. Culture manifests itself in many ways throughout the university, and this is an area that I'll focus a lot on during my time here. Culture is who we are, and it's who we want to be. We want to create and protect a few things related to culture. I can't stress this enough. A culture of evidence, a culture of transparency, a culture of collegiality, just treating people good, culture of traditions that we want to protect, a culture of success, a culture of unity, and most importantly, a culture of purpose. We have to be purposeful. Our partnerships are so critical. The partnerships we align with corporations are critical in how, again, we get students from TSU to the corporate world. With community colleges, we formed partnerships in the fall that really paid off in the spring and helped us with our transfer numbers that I just showed you. Our school districts, some of the largest school districts right here in our backyard that we need to tap more into and form better partnerships with, so those students have a clear path to Texas Southern University. Partnerships with churches is critical as well. Our finances. We need to ensure that we are good stewards of taxpayer and donor dollars and not to give anyone excuses not to give dollars to us. We have to protect that. Being efficient with our resources and assessing their return on investment will be critical. Advocating for more state and alumni support to assist the university in its efforts to achieve our goals. If you attended this past weekend, a shining example of a maroon and gray affair that paid off for our institution. That is what it's about. A lot of this will take some time, but that is what it's about. And again, I'm back on theme music. We had one of the best bands that I've ever heard, which was the SOS Band at the Maroon and Gray Affair. And one of the songs that I love is always Take Your Time, Do It Right. You all remember that. If you were at the Maroon and Gray, I know you remember it. So this is the direction we're headed together. Our top 5 priorities will guide us over the next 5 years to TSU 2022. Again, when you leave here today, I need you to really know and be talking about 5 areas. Student success and completion, academic program quality and research, culture, partnerships, and finances. Everything that you do on a day-to-day basis can be tied into one of those broad 5 areas. Everything that you do. Now, just as important as the priorities themselves are the people responsible for driving our priorities forward, for keeping our strategy on track and seeing it through to completion. I want to publicly introduce and acknowledge this team And I also want everyone to understand that by acknowledging them, I am holding them accountable. We are building an accountable organization, and these leaders will be at the forefront of that effort. Those leaders that we hire will be at the forefront of that effort. So please allow me to introduce them, and as I call their name, if they would stand and remain standing, if you can hold your applause, I want to make sure you see who these servant leaders are. Dr. Bobby Wilson, Interim Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs and Research. Mr. Kenneth Hewitt, Vice President of Administration and Finance. Dr. Charles McClellan, Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics. Dr. Raphael Moffitt, Vice President for Student Services. Mr. Andrew Huey, our General Counsel. Mr. Wendell Williams, Special Assistant to the President. Heidi Smith, Chief of Staff. Chief and Acting Chief of Police, Chief Mary Young. Ms. Keisha David, Associate Vice President, Chief Human Resource Officer and Title IX Coordinator. Mr. Louis Villarreal, Chief Information Officer. Now to our deans. Dr. Gregory Maddox, Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. James Douglas, Interim Dean, Thurgood Marshall School of Law. Dr. Marlene Petrie, Interim Dean, College of Liberal Arts and Behavioral Sciences. Dr. John Williams, Interim Dean, Jesse H. Jones School of Business. Dr. Riza Pude, Interim Dean, School of Communications. Dr. Lillian Potes, Dean, College of Education. Dr. Michael Adams, Interim Dean, Barbara Jordan Mickey Leland School of Public Affairs. Dr. Shirlette Milton, Interim Dean, College of Pharmacy, Health Sciences. Dr. John Sapp, Interim Dean, College of Science, Engineering, and Technology. And rounding this group out, Dr. Elizabeth Brown Guillory, Interim Dean, the Thomas F. Freeman Honors College. If you can give them a round of applause, appreciate it. In order to be better together, we have to make sure that we're connected. And I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Sanford over my 11 months of being here. I tell the story all the time about him embracing me as soon as I arrived. That's been the case not only with him, but with all of our faculty, and I really appreciate that support. There's a changing of the guard that will happen, and I want to highlight our new Faculty Senate Chair, Dr. Japhas Kavil. Japhas, if you could stand and be recognized. Let's give him a big round of applause. Stay standing for me, Dr. Kavil. Dr. Sanford, if you could give him a big round of applause. He's been in this role for quite some time, done a great job. It's also important that we have a staff voice. And I know that Derek Wilson has represented our staff very admirably. And we appreciate that. He is the staff council chair. Let's give him a big round of applause for the work he does. Now, it's not just the administrators who have the responsibility here. This is where I come to you for help. We're all in this together. We've all got skin in the game. That means that we can't have any skeptics on the sideline waiting for us to fail. Those of you who contributed to the feedback from the Listen and Learn tour, and those of you who agree with any of the comments from the Listen and Learn tour, we're going to need your help and support and time. I'm going to need your time. Don't just tell me what's wrong. Help me fix it. Help us fix it. We're all in this together. And if this is going to work, we've got to have the right culture. I'm excited for you to see as we get into the summer and later into the fall, the many ways in which we're going to bring these strategies to life. I'm excited about what this means as we work as one TSU, with one vision, with one focus, one TSU, with one set of criteria for accountability, one set of metrics that we all believe in. One focus, being great for our students. Because they're why we're here. They're why we're here in business. What do we want to do? How do we want to support those students? And all of you would agree with me that they deserve our very best. That's why we must create an environment where they feel welcome and supported and loved, where they're confident that they have people in their corner, people who will pick them up when they fail and cheer them on when they succeed. Simply put, that's culture. And our culture, it's unique to TSU. One of the biggest projects that we're tackling is understanding our culture. Once we do, we will fiercely protect it. Because our culture is in how we work and interact with each other. We can't do anything strategically until we build and protect the TSU way, until we define the habits and behaviors that will come to define TSU. That means that when you look to the leadership of this institution, you will know what to expect. That means when our students step into their classrooms and our faculty will have defined what we do and what our students can expect. We're not just building any university. We're building an elite university with a defined purpose, a defined way of working, and a defined way of helping students succeed while they're here with us and when they're making a name for themselves in the outside world. Because what we do in our classrooms reach every point in this city. You cannot go to the medical center and not be touched by one of our alums. You cannot go to the Port of Houston without being touched by our alumni. In classrooms, in courthouses, in refineries, in airports, we are everywhere. We are the heart and soul of our city. It's crucial that every one of us in here recognize for being part of this heartbeat and part of that soul, you deserve it. We deserve it. More importantly, we owe it to our students. Those now on campus and those among the 47,000 alumni in the city of Houston, and to their employers, for people to recognize and understand the value in being part of this heartbeat. In the Listen and Learn tour, you expressed an intense desire for a greater emphasis on branding. I heard you. That is why you have my commitment that later this summer, we're going to be aggressive with our message. I want you to have pride in who we are together. I want our students to have pride in being here. I want students who haven't considered TSU to put us first, to give us a chance. I want employers to know that when they hire a TSU graduate, they're employing someone who has received a quality education, who sees life through a different lens, and who has been given the opportunity to lead, and whose differences or different experiences will add richness to their business. I want them to know that our students will be the heart and soul of their business. I'd like to give you a quick sneak peek of where we're going with our brand. I welcome your feedback on these concepts that are still in development. It's the most important message. It's a really important message. I want to take time in going through this. Do you see the word behind me? Let me ask that again. Do you see the word behind me? All right. Do me a favor. Spell it out, but do that on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. H-O-U-S-T-O-N. Now here's a secret that can no longer be a secret. You can't spell Houston without TSU. Can't do it. Can't do it. TSU is the heart and soul of this city, if not this country.
We are the heart and soul of Houston. Texas Southern University.
That's us. We're the heart and soul. I'd like to say that all roads run through TSU. All roads. Over the next few months, you'll see this transformation, I promise. The transformation that represents the change occurring on this campus and how our changes will transform this city and this country and this world. We're working on powerful TV commercials that show extraordinary reach, the reach that we have as the heart of our city. We'll have billboards like you see behind me. We'll have posters and banners and signs on campus and off campus and everywhere we can put them. We're working on that now. We don't want to be a best-kept secret, right? It's important that we make our presence known in new and different and powerful ways. It's important that people understand who we are and what we do and how our work impacts the lives of every single person around in this city and in this country. I hope it makes you proud because it makes me proud. It makes me proud to be here. I'm honored to work at TSU. Honored. We started off today about what we heard on the Listen and Learn tour. We talked about our strategy, about the 5 priorities, again, student success and completion, academic program quality and research, culture, partnerships and finances. We've talked about the leaders that we're counting on and the leaders we're holding accountable for making sure our strategy is executed. You notice I was up first already standing, so I'm the most accountable. I hold myself the most accountable to you. We talk about understanding and protecting our culture and defining how we work. We talked about what we must do for our students. We talked about getting our message into the hearts and minds of those closest to TSU, as well as those who don't know us yet. But trust me, they will. I promise you. They'll know us. They'll know us for the work you do with your students and for the leaders we produce. They'll know us for the quality of the pilots, the entrepreneurs, the doctors, the lawyers, the musicians, the political leaders, and the artists who are proud graduates of Texas Southern University. I know we have a long way to go to get to where we need to be. I get it. But what I hope you see today is that we are committed to building our pathways to excellence today. As with every pathway, especially in our city, there will be potholes to fill and obstacles to navigate. But hear me loud and clear. We will be steadfast in our pursuit of what is rightfully ours. We'll be steadfast in that pursuit. We will be diligent in that pursuit. I am committed to providing updates on our progress to you often. I'm committed to sharing everything I heard in the Listen and Learn tour, and I'm committed to keeping my eyes and ears open to your wants and needs and wishes. We are in this together. It is up to each of us to lift one another up and pull one another forward. There will always be some who want to take us in a different direction and distract from our goals. But we will guard against that danger by putting forth a plan with clear objectives, a plan with clearly defined outcomes, and with accountability that will be demanded and shared throughout every level of the organization. We've made some progress already, yes, but to me the most important sign is that we are coming together and listening to each other and trusting and believing in each other. That's why I am looking forward with great excitement and optimism to what we are about to accomplish. And accomplish our goals, we will. We must. As the heart and soul of Houston and this country, we've got 8 million eyeballs looking right at us. So if I haven't told you yet, and I will apologize in advance, if I haven't told you enough, let me tell you thanks. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me and my wife to serve. Thank you for choosing this as your profession. Thank you for choosing TSU as your professional home. Thank you for what you do in your classrooms and offices. Thank you for what you do for our students, for changing their lives, for giving them hope, for giving them a pathway to a different future. And most of all, thank you for believing in them and in us. Thank you very much for being here today. Appreciate it. Have a great summer. Hope this was helpful to you. Thank you.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down,